Welcome back to the channel, my friends. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and today we're taking a look at Kill Team. This video is sponsored by CMO Games. More on that later. Kill Team, managing the range of kill teams in the new edition. Alright, so we got a new edition rolling out soon. And throughout the previous edition, Games Workshop has released a ton of awesome and amazing customized new kill teams, sweet model kits, completely unique operatives. But along the way, a couple of the factions never really got love and still had compendium kill teams out there. And then, like every new edition, I would imagine that some of the old teams are going to get replaced with new ones or go away altogether. So let's see what Games Workshop has to say about this. But no doubt, somebody along the way is getting the RIP treatment. The new edition of Kill Team is performing final weapons checks before it drops into the hot LZ. Tom from the Kill Team Design Studio has written an article on what to expect over the lifetime of the new edition. With the success of Kill Team and its incredible engagement from the community, we've been hard at work crafting an even better experience. Our goal, keep the game exciting for veterans and accessible for newcomers, while maintaining balance and avoiding unnecessary complexity. Alright, so that sounds really good. Hopefully Games Workshop actually achieves that goal, because that was definitely one of the main issues. Rules bloat was like out of control in this edition of Kill Team, made the game take way longer than it did and way more complex than it needed to be. And then hopefully also they're going to address like the timeline that we can expect for this edition as well. I'm not a huge fan of like the 3-year cycles, because it definitely feels like it's more of a money aspect for them, making everybody like rebuy all the books and invalidating a lot of your old stuff. So hopefully they'll talk a little bit about that as well. We've taken great care and pride in refining the rules, product design, and everything in between for a new edition. One of the main focuses has been on managing the growing range of kill teams to ensure everyone gets to enjoy the miniatures to the fullest. So one of the things I really like about what Games Workshop has been doing with its most recent like game new editions is essentially releasing the equivalents of like a compendium or like index rules for everybody. So right off the bat, you get rules for all of the existing like factions. So you can use everything right off the bat, and then expanding on it further throughout the edition with like more refined rules or more expanded like rule sets or different ways that you can use your models. So hopefully we see a bit of that carrying over. I think Games Workshop has been doing a great job taking what works in its various game sets and then having those carry over into its other games, and then removing some of the stuff that's just a little bit janky or that the people don't like. But for the most part, I think the last couple editions of like 40K, Sigmar, even the previous edition of Kill Team, all took a lot of like really good stuff from their various games and removed a lot of the bad stuff. So hopefully that's going to be the case with the new Kill Team. At launch, the new edition will feature 33 kill teams with their rules updated and balanced for the new edition, and available for free online. You'll be able to download these rules on Warhammer Community and on the Kill Team app. As we release new teams, rules will be made available in the same way, to ensure a consistent and accessible experience for everyone. This online first rule set method will allow us to keep the rules directly updated and freely available, and will provide an ever-growing number of new teams, future kill zones, and updates directly to the community. From now on, every kill team will receive consistently updated rules for 2 editions. Updates will be quarterly, while small adjustments may be made as required. Every team will remain in the product range for 4 full seasons. Seasons generally last 12 months, though they can be longer or shorter as required. This is to ensure a manageable range that can keep in stock. Alright, so that all sounds like good stuff right there. I definitely like that. 33 teams right out of the gate. All the rules are going to be free for everyone right off the bat. So no more like paywalling new team rules behind the big box sets, behind the books. No more like massive delays if you don't get a hold of the product when it first comes out. If you got the models, you can download the rules for free and play with that team, and I love it. 12-month seasons are really good as well. I'm definitely a fan of that. Gives people plenty of time to like master their team, their rules, before moving on to like the next stuff. And then 4 full seasons means essentially we're going to get 4 years with that team as well. I don't know if that's going to mean that the edition's going to be roughly like 4 years, or they're going to stop with like the rapid release of new editions. But knowing that you're going to get at least 4 full years with your team, even if it does roll over into a new edition, is definitely a good thing. Classified kill teams. Teams that are currently available in the Kill Team product range are labeled classified, which indicates that they are the ones currently recommended for tournament play. The teams below are currently classified, and this list will be updated after the first season of the new edition comes to a close. When the team leaves the product range, it leaves the classified list. So what is classified for? The list will be used to ensure fairness, stability, and availability for major Warhammer events such as US Opens and World Championships of Warhammer. We will provide an event companion document containing all the guidance you need to run your own tournaments in a similar way. But that doesn't mean that your favorite team won't be playable. All right, so that sounds pretty cool. It's basically going to give us like a little bit of a heads up. Also, it sounds like Games Workshop is hoping to, or at least like trying to address the availability issues that they've had with their product range. Because in the end, what's the point of having an actual product if nobody can get a hold of it? It does sound like they're leaning in a little bit more on like the tournament or like competitive scene, which is great and everything. And it's super popular amongst the competitive players to make sure that they're getting a lot of love and keeping everything balanced. But the truth is that realistically encompasses like 5% of the total people who like play or enjoy a game. So I hope they don't go in a little too hard on like the competitive scene and lose focus on like all of the casual players and collectors out there, because that's like 95% of the market. Now a quick message from today's sponsor. CMO Games has been selling Games Workshop products online for over 20 years. They carry the full line of Games Workshop products, including Warhammer 40,000, Age of Sigmar, Necromunda, Blood Bowl, paint tools, and more. Almost all Games Workshop products are priced at 15% off MSRP. CMO Games takes pre-orders for most Games Workshop products released at their earliest date possible. 12:01 a.m. on Saturday, they go live. Most of these pre-order products are also priced at 15% off MSRP. CMO Games offer free shipping in the US 48 with an order of $50 or more. Their customer service is top-notch and they ship most orders within 24 hours. Visit CMOGames.com using the affiliate link in the description and let them know that you heard about CMO Games from Warhammer Man. Now, back to the video. For example, commandos will be classified throughout the first season of the new edition. The box will leave the kill team range when the season comes to a close, and the commandos kill team will leave the classified list. You can still enjoy playing them in all other seasons to come. You can still enjoy playing them in all other settings except for classified tournament play, and they will continue to receive updates, including for balance, until the end of the edition. For the vast majority of players in clubs, in leagues, and playing with friends, every team, classified or not, will provide a fun and fair gaming experience, while your miniatures may also be used in solo and co-op play as NPOs, non-player operatives. We're excited to see what other events the community runs, including joint ops and narrative events, and would love for you to include the full list of teams at these events. We're committing to ensuring every kill team gets a spotlight it deserves, and that every player can enjoy their miniatures with access to the most up-to-date rules. Thank you for your ongoing passion and support. We can't wait to share more of what we've been working on. Stay sharp, operatives, and get ready for an exciting journey ahead. Thanks, guys. The new edition of Kill Team has already made orbital ingress and will be roaring into pre-orders very soon indeed. Alright, so definitely got some questions about that, but it sounds like overall Games Workshop is trying to address some of the issues they've had in the past, or like some of the things that people are like most interested in. It is kind of strange to see that like commandos would be potentially going away, as not only were they included in the starter set Octarius box, but then also in like the Kill Team starter set as well. But it looks like classified for year one, we have Commandos, Death Corps, Novitiates, Pathfinders, Legionaries, Corsair, Voids Guard, Blooded, Phobos Strike Team, Void Dancers, Warp Coven, Wormblade, Hunterclad, Gellerpox Infected, and then Illucidian Starstriders. So definitely a lot of like the older teams, but then some newer ones in there as well. But you know for sure that those are going to be good for the first year, and then they're going to go into like the more casual setting and not necessarily be viable in like competitive play, which realistically is only going to affect a handful of people across the world. And then classified year one and year two, Angels of Death, Imperial Navy Breachers, Farstalker King Band, Kasserkin, Heretic Circle, Exaction Squad, The Hand of the Archon, Felgor Ravagers, Hearthkin Salvagers, Chaos Cult, Inquisitorial Agents, Blades of Cain, Scout Squad, Nemesis Claw, Mandrakes, Brood Brothers, Hernkin Jaegers, Tempestus Aquilons, and Vespid Stingwings. And then future teams will be released this season redacted. Alright, so definitely an interesting article. I think my main takeaway from this is that they're going to be basically focusing in on giving people a solid heads up as to what's going to be going away, so it's not just suddenly yanked from the range or from like viable competitive play. It also sounds like they're focused on everybody having access to the rules, no more like paywalling books and stuff like that behind box sets that sell out. Because in all reality, even if you can't get the models you want, you can always substitute in something like similar. So that's never really an issue, but being able to get the actual rules and play with the stuff you want, regardless of if you are able to or want to buy a new box set, is key. And while it's definitely cool that there is like a nice and thriving competitive scene for Kill Team, some of the new stuff that they've talked about in here is a little bit curious. I definitely think that Games Workshop loses sight sometimes of just how small the competitive scene is for their various games. Most people use like the typical like competitive rules, but play casually with their friends. The majority of people that play Games Workshop games will never attend like an actual tournament. So sometimes when they focus in like heavy on the actual tournament scene or like competitive players, I think they're almost like losing the forest for the trees, because realistically, like most Kill Team tournaments are going to have a handful of players, and the actual like Kill Team tournament scene is probably like 1 to maybe 5% of the total people that like buy, collect, play the actual game. So hopefully they're not focused in a little too much on the competitive side, and losing sight of like all of the people out there that enjoy Kill Team for something else. But I think my major takeaway from this article is that Games Workshop understands some of the issues that they have with the current edition, why it's important for them to have like free and accessible rules, consistent balance but not overbearing amount of like FAQs and erratas. And in general, it sounds like they're focused in on some of these things and going to try to make Kill Team a better game, making the rules accessible so it's better for the actual players and people out there that are buying these products. And then realistically, by not paywalling some of the actual like rules themselves, it's probably going to help crack down on people that are just basically sharing the rules for free or like stealing them, using alternative apps or something like that, whether it's by choice or by force. I'm definitely super excited for like the co-op and solo play. I think that's going to be really cool and expand like the potential people that would be interested in the game. And anytime you can get more people interested in the game, even if it is for like solo or co-op, that's going to drum up more interest. It's going to get more people actually playing. And then at the end, it's going to be better for Kill Team and for Games Workshop as a whole, which is definitely a good thing. I personally used to love Kill Team, used to play it all of the time. I have a ton of painted Kill Teams, but the lack of availability and then like also the rules bloat just became a serious issue. The amount of time it was taking to play a game just made it so it wasn't that fun anymore. I had no interest in dedicating like 2+ hours to a game of Kill Team with a handful of operatives when I could just play a game of big 40k in equal or sometimes even less time. But realistically, I'm a big fan of the previous edition of Kill Team. I thought they did a great job adapting it from the edition before that. And I'm definitely looking forward of what's to come in this new edition. And while there's always going to be some aspects of a new edition that you don't like or don't enjoy as much, I think for the most part, Games Workshop has been trending in the right direction, making their games more accessible, more fun. And I suspect that's going to be the case with Kill Team as well. So let me know what you're most excited about. What do you think of these new changes or announcements? For me personally, if the games just take a little less time, they're a little less complex, so you can spend more time actually playing the game and less time digging through like rules and FAQs. And then also the solo and co-op play is super appealing to me. I'm probably not going to be playing the solo myself, but I understand that a lot of people out there might not have someone to play with or prefer to like play through solo game mode so they can get a good idea as to how to play, get familiar with the rules, and then later on expand out and play with other people or teach new people the game. But I think the co-op is something that I've really enjoyed with games like Blackstone Fortress or Warhammer Quest, and I think that's a great element to bring to Kill Team as well. Hopefully they're going to expand it out and do stuff like that in Necromunda also. But for the most part, I think this is the stuff that people want, and I think Games Workshop is attempting to bring that to us. Not sure exactly what's going to be going on with this classified or how relevant that's going to be. I personally have never played in like a big Kill Team tournament, but I travel almost every other weekend for big 40k tournaments. So again, I'm not sure how relative these rules changes or anything like that is going to be. There is a thriving Kill Team competitive community, but the fact of the matter is Kill Team is not that popular of a game. And then the amount of people that are actually playing in like hyper competitive mode is probably like 1% or less. So hopefully Games Workshop doesn't spend a little too much focus on that very, very small fraction of the people at the cost of the greater Kill Team community. So let me know down below what you think. For me, I think one of the best things they could do is releasing the rules for free and no longer like paywalling them. And then also, I'd really like to see at least every faction have one bespoke Kill Team. Like the fact that Tyranids are one of the biggest factions in the game, one of the most popular in the lore, one of the longest running factions, and basically don't have a Kill Team right now is kind of strange. Now, I do think that there's a very high likelihood we're going to see something like Winged Warriors or equivalent in this new edition. And that to me is super exciting. There used to be Winged Warrior models from ForgeWorld, and those went away a couple years ago. And I really thought we were going to get a Tyranid Kill Team last edition. So hopefully they're at the beginning of the list for this edition. What other Kill Teams would you like to see come out? I think Swooping Hawks are at the top of the list as well. They've kind of made some like clues about that, talking about swooping in aspect for Eldari, etc. But I'm curious as to what you have on the top of your list. And as always, special thanks to CMO Games for sponsoring the channel. Check out the link in the description to save 15% on Games Workshop products. That's it for today. Warhammer Man Studios, I'm Warhammer Man, and I'm excited for the new edition of Kill Team. And it sounds like the new box isn't too far out. And I'm out of here.